Welcome back to Tarot and Beyond. Today we're looking at your psychic abilities, and I promise you, you are psychic. You just haven't unlocked it yet, or if you have, then we're going to be looking at how your psychic gifts express for you and or what you can do to bring them forth even more than they already are. Use the images here before you to select the reading that resonates with you. Use the timestamps linked in the description box or pinned in the comments below to jump ahead to your chosen reading or readings, and we'll see you there. All right, hi group number 1. If you chose this crystal ball, let's go ahead and take a look at your psychic abilities. So the first card you have is Child. You care deeply about children and they readily respond to your love. All children, including your own inner child, require love, affection, and attention. We can clear and open your heart and schedule so that you can give more time and energy to the children who need you. Okay. I want to note that I just created an idea and the cover image for a new reading that I'm going to be doing eventually at some point. Not sure in what order I'll be doing them, but it's going to be an inner child reading, and they just kind of prompted me to say this to you. Okay, you also have Eye of the Storm. You have Spiritual Connection with Ascended Master Saint Germain and Amethyst. I love that, and I love that I also chose the Amethyst to be here in the reading today, as it is a highly psychic stone. You have Archangel Remiel and Aragonite with Rest. And you have Daring Rebirth, Goddess Ishtar and Astrophyllite. Okay. I feel like we need one more from this deck to balance it out. So I'm going to grab another one. So for group number 1, oh, there it is. It was this one right here. Okay. Support, Archon Barbello and Picture Jasper. Okay. So I actually do want to read the description for the Eye of the Storm card, because I'm feeling like this is kind of centering the reading and I'm seeing it in connection to all of the other messages that are coming through. So let's take a look at that. It is about safe haven. So Eye of the Storm is a safe haven for your soul, a calm center no matter what upheavals may occur, a life support system during stressful times or serious illness. Hold on to it during challenges so that you can keep things in perspective. And then the self-understanding message is you may be allowing the challenges and traumas of life to push you off center. Stress and pressure are a major cause of your dis-ease. You could be focusing too closely on one aspect of life to the detriment of others. Look at the wider picture. The divination message is it's time to relax and let go of your stress. Stay mindful rather than watchful. Excess adrenaline adversely affects your immune system. Switch on the positive potential in your cell walls. Meditate quietly to rejuvenate your DNA. You can stay centered and calm no matter what storm rages around you. So now I'm seeing pretty clearly, because you do have support and rest and daring rebirth, Eye of the Storm. This is all speaking to me of like a dark night of the soul moment. So if you don't have your psychic abilities activated just yet, and you're going through this type of upheaval or chaos or even physical issues, then there's a reason for it. It's trying to get you to tap into your psychic self. To do that, though, you do have to give yourself the time and space to be able to tune in to this spiritual connection that you do have. So what I'm seeing here is that your inner child is essentially having a hard time because they don't feel safe. And there's chaos going on. You might feel like you're in the eye of the storm, so there's chaos all around you. But what I'm actually seeing is that there's chaos within you. So your nervous system might be dysregulated. And so because of that, what can happen is that two things can happen actually. Number one, you may become super hypersensitive to everything and everyone around you, which can also be what can unlock your psychic abilities. But then from there, to use them effectively, you do have to regulate your nervous system and learn to widen your window of tolerance, and create safety and protect yourself energetically, so that you don't go into like burnout and have health issues and mental health issues and stuff like that. So there is a right and wrong way to activate your psychic gifts, but usually the soul will prompt you when you're ready. And so essentially what I'm seeing here is that the soul is prompting you. If you've already awakened your psychic abilities, then this is your ability to use those to tune into when you need to rest, when you need to ask for support from your guides, when you need to heal your inner child. You're able to stay centered amidst any external chaos in the third dimensional realm because you have this super powerful connection. So let's get some clarifiers from the tarot. So the Psychic Tarot has asked to be here in your reading. So for group number 1, can we get some additional information about their psychic gifts? I see this one kind of poking out, and these two, and this one as well. Okay. So, you have balance, which is temperance, I'm pretty sure. No. Number 11, what is that? Give me one sec. Okay, sorry, I just had to reposition some stuff. And anyway, so number 11, this is actually the Justice card. I just don't have the numbers of the major arcana memorized. I mean, I probably should, but yeah. So anyway, I see this as you really tap, because this is reminding me of the Magician card. So it's you creating balance through this spiritual connection, because the Magician is all about the spiritual connection to the divine and the balance within the 4 elements. So earth, air, fire, water, and spirit being the 5th. So you're able to create connection to that spiritual spirit element to be able to create and even control your third dimensional elements within yourself and within the world around you, like your reality. So your spiritual connection here, your psychic ability is very, very strong. And it's needing to be balanced though. It's needing to be balanced maybe with, because if you're going through something really challenging, then it needs to be balanced so that you're not going through some kind of upheaval and then losing that psychic ability or having it be kind of used in an unhealthy way. Ooh, you have the 2 of Cups with spiritual union. I feel like the 2 of Cups here is talking about your, again, connection to the divine. You're able to, through love, connect to the universe around you. So if you haven't awakened your psychic abilities yet, this could also be through relationship to a child, is what I just saw and heard. So you may have a connection to a child who's very psychic, and because of that, it's activating you. Because when you connect to a specific frequency, there's something called entrainment and resonance. And so what will happen is that if there's a very psychic person around you, sometimes it can spontaneously unlock your own psychic abilities. And children do tend to be very naturally psychic. And then it gets shut down, it gets lost over time, as the society that we currently live in most cultures around the world, are not conducive to maintaining that psychic connection. This could also be about you connecting to your inner child, so that psychic connection can come back by creating safety and mutual reciprocal love with yourself at that inner level, so that you do feel safe and balanced to be able to activate this spiritual connection. But it's important that you go slow, you rest. You might need to ask for some support, because if you're going through this kind of a really profound dark night of the soul, it does bring about a massive rebirth. It does bring about, it can even be like a crisis moment, but it really does serve you in the long run, because it's activating your gifts and it's helping you to step into your power. You have the 8 of Cups, emotional withdrawal. I feel like this is you going into a state of meditation where you can connect better. You're able to commune with the divine, I just heard in my head. So you're able to commune with the divine by following your heart. I'm seeing the footsteps in the sand. Hold on, let me show you that. So those footsteps in the sand are making me think of like that when Jesus walks with you kind of thing. There's two footprints in the sand. So it's like you're very, very guided. You have a lot of like personal guides. You might even work with ascended masters such as Jesus or Yeshua. And if you haven't learned how to do that yet, then those may be the first ones that come through, like Yeshua or something like that. You might be drawn to archangels as well. You also have the throat chakra. Okay, so you may be clairaudient, group number 1. This is where the psychic abilities through the throat chakra come through as clairaudience. So we're able to hear messages. And I'm actually clairaudient because my primary energy at soul level, based on my soul blueprint, which you can find, or we can find for you if you're interested through the soul realignment reading. But yeah, my primary energy is through the throat chakra. So that's why I speak and I teach, and I love to learn, and I channel. So the throat chakra can activate that clairaudience, and clairaudience is where you can hear divine messages. So you might hear them as words in your head, you might hear songs playing in your mind, you may hear the voices of angels, you might hear inner guidance or channeled information. You might be able to translate or directly channel that. So sometimes the psychic aspect of the throat chakra is just straight up channeling. And there's multiple ways to channel too, guys. Like it's not just you go into a trance and you start speaking. Like technically I channel in most of my readings. I just don't call it channeling because I'm acting more as like myself interpreting the messages that I'm channeling. When it comes to higher level channeling, there's I think 3 types. So number 1 is when you're going into a full trance and you step back, and it's almost like that higher being or whomever can use your body to communicate. And so you become an instrument for the information to come through you. The second type is when it's like a little bit of half and half. So you're in a bit of a trance state. You might be a little bit more sort of deeper into those theta wave frequencies of mind, which allows you to be more receptive. And it's not quite fully hypnosis, but you're still conscious, you're still aware, but that information is coming through and you're translating it and speaking on it. And then there's the third one, which is like you just get these divinely inspired ideas and it just kind of comes out of your mouth without you even thinking about it. And then you kind of have to backtrack and go, oh, what did I just say? That was brilliant. Like, I didn't even know that I knew that. That's where like you don't even realize you're channeling. So you may have that one, group number 1, because I'm getting shivers, chills, and whenever I get that, it's like a confirmation of truth. So group number 1, you may have the type of psychic ability through clairaudience that you just speak and don't realize where that information is coming from, but it's actually being channeled to you from your support team. It's being channeled to you from your higher self as well. So it's not always coming from something outside of you. Your higher self is part of you. It feels like it's outside of you, but it's part of you. So another thing that I'm seeing here, group number 1, is that if you are looking to activate your psychic abilities and you haven't quite been able to do it yet, what I would recommend is number 1, connecting and healing the relationship with your inner child so that you feel safe, so that your body feels safe, so that you can raise your frequency, you can rest, and be able to channel this frequency into you. That will increase your spiritual connection through balance with all of these elements. Now, even the 4 elements, earth, air, fire, water, they represent things within us. So air is the mind, water is the emotion, earth is the physical body, and fire is the spirit or the passion for life. So if you can balance all of those things, it also really helps you to remain in the eye of the storm, no matter where or what's happening. Now, the other thing I'm seeing here is the capacity to focus on your mind. They are recommending meditation. They are recommending doing some emotional seeking, like going inward, basically, and setting aside some time to do that so that you can rest and connect to spirit. That's going to not only charge you up and make you healthier and happier sometimes in the short term, but also definitely in the long term. But it's going to help this rebirth to occur so that you can really activate this spiritual gift to a whole nother level. And if you've already activated these gifts within yourself and you're aware that you're clairaudient, I also see claircognizance here because this one's making me think of the crown chakra. It's very third eye as well, which is clairvoyance, but the crown chakra claircognizance is this information that just downloads through you and you don't even realize. Again, so I think maybe you have both of these. We all have all of them. We all have clairaudience, clairvoyance, claircognizance, clairgustance, aliens, all of it. And It's basically all of the senses that we physically have, just at that 6th dimensional level. So we all have them all, but some of us have different strengths in different areas, right? Like somebody has particularly good at eyesight, and somebody has a proficiency for hearing, or, there's just like at a physical level, there's differences from person to person. It's the same thing psychically. And it does depend a little bit on your soul blueprint. But what I'm seeing here is that you're able to channel this information through in like downloads. So it's like a file that just gets Wi-Fi shared to your computer. You know what I mean? And then you just have this big file with all this information in it. And then you just kind of blurt things out because you're not really aware of where that came from, but now it's downloaded into the system. So you don't really have to like translate it. So for me, when I'm channeling, what I do is sometimes it's the third option, but I don't really do the first option. So for me, it's always usually the second option, which is where I'm channeling clairaudiently by listening to the messages that are coming through, and I'm basically translating. So I'm hearing what the person is saying, and then I'm acting as a translator and speaking it out. So it could be a guide that I'm translating for. It could be my higher self who I'm translating for, or it could be a crossed over loved one. So I can translate for spirit in general. So I kind of act just as like a middleman, but that's what mediums are. So let's take a look at what else you need to know, group number 1, in regard to your psychic abilities. Oh my gosh, really? Yeah, they just want all of these. Like they're like, don't stop. But then I gotta know. So now we have them all. Let's take a look at this big pile of cards. Ooh, you have the 9 of Cups. This is great. This is all about self-fulfillment, your wishes coming true. I see a lot of happiness here as you connect and go through this rebirth. Like if you've been feeling stuck and you've been feeling cut off, reconnecting with your spirituality and this power within you is such a freeing thing, guys. Like I can't emphasize how amazing it is to be able to walk through life really seeing and feeling and sensing and knowing that connection is there, and being able to experience and interact with life in a completely different dimension, basically. I mean, that is literally also what it is. And it makes you so much more happy and fulfilled because you see things from that much broader perspective that allows you to gain this sense of deep satisfaction and fulfillment, which is what the 9 of Cups is talking about here. Oh my God, you have the Sun card, you guys. Group number 1, this is amazing. So if you've been going through anything difficult or challenging that's been really difficult, well, obviously I just said difficult, but if you've been going through something that's a dark night of the soul, it's very, very oppressive or challenging or painful, or, it just feels like something's squeezing you and then something has to burst. The Sun card is coming in to let you know that the sun is going to shine out anew, and you are going to be blessed and blossom because of it. I see you breaking through this brick wall and being able to free yourself. I also see the connection to the child again. So your inner child is very, very active. Your inner child is a major part of your spiritual advancement, and this can also be what's being activated through an actual child. So like I said before, if you have a child or you're connected to a child, or maybe you just come across a child in the wild, a child in the wild, because what's coming to mind is actually, I went to a drive-in movie by myself the other day. I'm taking myself out on dates, not related to the reading, just felt like I should share that for some reason. Maybe one of you is thinking about doing something and gaining some independence in that way. And yeah, it is kind of like an inner child self-date. Yeah, okay, so it is relevant to the reading. That's why they prompted me to share it. But I was standing in line at a concession to get something to eat, and there was this little girl in front of me, and she had the wildest eyes. And I know as a psychic medium that the soul shines through the eyes, and her eyes almost made me uncomfortable. They were so powerful. And she just looked like a doll. Like she was just like this perfect little being, and I could feel like she's not human. Like physically she's human, but her soul is not human. And I could just feel like this really intense power from her, and this curiosity and this spirit within her that was, I think, activating me now that I'm channeling this out, because in the moment I didn't realize that. But again, I'm channeling through the throat chakra right now this information. So sometimes just talking about it can help you to receive the information from spirit, because it's like it's able to come through. So anyway, I kind of see this happening for you guys as well. Like there's a child that you come across out in the world, or whom you're connected to, who's extremely psychic. They're a very, very high vibrational being, and they've just come in, so they're very fresh and they haven't been distorted at all. So those gifts are very present. That frequency is intact, and you are connecting to that, or you're meant to see that person or connect to that being, or to have that activation, because it's like a DNA code activation, and it can be transferred through the eyes. It can also be transferred through the voice, and just even being in someone's presence as well. Like just connecting with their energy can be an activation in and of itself. That's kind of what I'm seeing for you here, because the Sun card is speaking to me of this activation. It's like awakening of consciousness, and that's what the Sun is. It's like it's the awareness, the sun shining, and the sun always reminds me of God, or the sun is a God. The sun is like suns in general are high frequency consciousness beings. So when you're connecting to the sun, when you're connecting to light, you are connecting to God energy, or some aspect of God energy. And so this is activating within you that higher consciousness, because you are that as well. It's the ever-present I am presence within all of us. Holy crap. You guys have 3 of the best cards in the deck so far. You've got the Fool card, which is this new beginning. It's a daring rebirth. Yeah. This is, wow. Oh my God. Group number 1, if you have not activated your psychic gifts yet, this is going to be transformational. This is going to change your life. And if you have activated your psychic gifts, this is going to be a whole new level. A whole new level you've never experienced before in any lifetime. I'm hearing, oh my God, this is going to be the most amazing thing that's ever happened to you. Oh wow. Because it's taking you from a state of consciousness to an even wider, even more expanded one, where there's no limitations at the consciousness level. You still interact with the physical world, but emotionally and psychically, you're at that highest level that you can achieve here in this physical life. And so they're showing me like the cliff underneath him. It's like he can walk on air. So he could step right off of that at this frequency and be able to walk on air. Now, please don't do that literally. I don't mean this literally. It's a metaphor, okay? But it's the God consciousness power that it's able to transcend some of the limitations of the state of mind that is most common here on Earth. Okay, let's see what else you have. No way! No freaking way! What? You have the High Priestess, group number 1. This is the highest spiritual connection. You're connected to the divine. You are a conduit for the divine. You are the bridge between worlds. You have the sacred spiritual connection. You are the keeper of knowledge. I just heard in my head, the keeper of knowledge. The wisdom you share is divinely guided. Wow. So you may be called to share this wisdom, to speak. I'm seeing with the throat chakra, to speak about this. Throat chakra, divine communication souls are always called to like teaching roles in any capacity. And they are the conduit for this spoken expression of divine source to come through. This is amazing. This can also be talking about connecting to a high priestess, because they're drawing my attention back to support that you had. So if you are able to connect with somebody who is a high priestess in this energy, it's like they're going to be able to create safety for your inner child and activate within you this knowledge and wisdom within your own DNA. So they may be giving you, information, but they're actually going to be acting you at a psychic level. I do this all the time, and I see this all the time with my clients. People feel called to me at a specific time in their journey, and they just know that it's the right time. They book the session, and sometimes even before we do the reading, they have a transformation start to begin. or they feel the shift already happening. It's quite common because at soul level, time is not a factor, it's the choice. And once you make the choice and it's like you book the reading, the intention is there to do it. And so you already start to get the activation. It's so crazy. Like I see this all the time. So I was just talking about choice. Oh my God. I was just talking about choice. It's like once you make the choice, you set things in motion energetically. Once the intention is there to do something and you take the action, that's when things start to shift. Wow. Wow. This reading, it's like you have the world in your hands. And I was seeing that with the Fool card here as well. It's like there's no limitations. You can go anywhere. You can do anything. You know, I mean, no, I was going to say within reason. And they're like, no. What is reason? It's something you made up. That's what they're saying. You know, my spirit team has a good sense of humor. They have, they're funny. All right, you have justice again. This is crazy, you guys. Like, this is the coolest reading, I think, that we've had in a while here. Every reading is amazing, but like the synchronicities in this one are just popping off. So the Justice card, again, speaks to me of karmic balance. You are karmically balancing things out within yourself, and that's also maybe some of the conflict or challenge you're going through, or some of that being squeezed and then being like freed. That's what I'm feeling, is like you were like crunched and crunched and crunched to the point where it's like it implodes, or not implodes, it explodes. It's like the pressure built and built and built, and then it just burst. So for you in group number 1, I feel like if you haven't awakened your psychic abilities yet, it's going to happen very suddenly through an activation, either by a child or by a high priestess. Like, technically, I fall into the category of high priestess, but it could be anybody who embodies spiritual wisdom, knowledge, spiritual connection, psychic abilities, communion with the divine, and they come from that 5th dimensional or above place of love and unity. You have the 3 of Swords. Yeah, that's what I was seeing here. It's karmic balance. So the 3 of Swords is pain from the past. It's wounds. Specifically, again, this could be related to the inner child. So it's creating that safety and regulating your nervous system so that you can activate, because there are physical components to this, right, guys? Like, we can't just bypass the physical body. The physical body is a product of our soul. It is a physical manifestation of the soul. And so to have the soul be in good health, we have to have the body be in good health as well, and vice versa. Yep, that's like, this reading is insane. You have the 9 of Wands, which is like this wounded warrior who he just keeps going and going and going, but like he's tired. He's been through a lot. There's been so many challenges. I keep hearing the word challenges. That's why I keep repeating it, because that's the energy they're giving me. It's like he's been through so many challenges, and he's a little weary, he's a little tired, he's a little cautious, he might be a little hypervigilant. Again, that's the nervous system aspect coming back in, but he's willing to continue. He's dubious, but he's ready to continue. He wants to continue. So he's just kind of like, what's that? Spirit, can you give me that phrase again? He's strengthening his mettle. Yeah, it's like he's mustering his courage, basically, to continue moving forward. Oh, the 7 of Swords. The 7 of Swords here, I feel like this is... your psychic energy was distorted. I feel like this happened in childhood. Okay. In a relationship of some kind. Could have been with your father, your mother. I feel like there was something that happened early on in life that created some distortion in your psychic abilities. So maybe somebody criticized you for what you were saying, or what you were seeing, or what you were feeling. And it's like that just kind of shut things down. It wounded you. You kept going, but you weren't really the same after that, is what I'm seeing. And so if that is the case, this is about healing. It is important that you heal this now, because that cycle or that pattern may repeat, or it may have already repeated several times, but they're bringing this to your consciousness so you can free yourself from it. because that's what's going to also help you to unlock your psychic abilities. Because any karma or any block and restriction within the soul blueprint will limit your ability to access your vital force energy, your higher self, your true spiritual power. That's why we do soul realignment work in the Akash, is because if there's anything blocking, then you're not going to come through clearly. Your soul is not going to channel through you clearly, because it's like there's restrictions. Oh yeah, that's what they were showing me too. It's like being squeezed. Yeah, that's a karmic block and restriction, where it's just like it's creating tension. But the good thing about that is that it eventually gets so dense that it has to be dealt with. It becomes so uncomfortable that it has to be dealt with, and that's what spurs or catalyzes this growth and this rebirth. So that's what I'm seeing there, is it is a catalyst. That karma, that block, that restriction, that wound, it is a catalyst meant to initiate and activate within you your psychic abilities in a very, very powerful way, completely rebirthing your consciousness. And it's through creating balance. It's through healing that karma. Holy cow. So this is what I see for you, group number 1. This is amazing. I think this was one of the most powerful readings that we've had here in a bit. Yeah, I have no words. I have no words. Like, the throat chakra is right here, but I'm like, I have no words, because this is just amazing. So if this resonated with you and you feel like you're ready to activate your psychic gifts, but you haven't necessarily kind of done anything about that yet, and if you resonate with me, if you feel called to me at this time, don't try to force it. You have to know that it feels right, because if you try to force it before it's ready, it's either not going to be good for you, or well, it's not that it won't be good for you, it just won't really do much for you, or it might be frustrating because you're expecting it to do something and then it doesn't work. So you have to feel it needs to be the right time, and then it's transformational. So come from the soul, not the ego, not the mind, and trust. If you resonate with me and you feel called, then book the soul realignment reading with me. It's through my website. You can either do the one-on-one one where we talk in person about what comes up in the Akash, or you can do the pre-recorded one where I basically just do an audio recording of what I got out of your Akash and how you need to clear it. All right, guys. So yeah, that is what I see. I'm sending you so much love, blessings, and activations through my voice, through my throat chakra, through my divine communication gift. So thank you guys so much for being here. If you liked the reading, don't forget to hit that like button. It really lights me up and brings me so much joy. And subscribe to the channel if you want to stick around. We have lots more fun readings to come. Like, this one was super powerful. I'm really excited for more. And again, if you want to work with me one-on-one, you want a personal reading, or you want some kind of other soul transformational service or mentorship, all of the services that I provide can be found at the link to my website, which is in the description box below. All right, guys, I love you, and we'll see you in the next reading. Bye. Hi, group number 2. If you chose this crystal ball, this is going to be your psychic reading about your psychic abilities. So let's take a look at your cards and see what is coming up. You have the ocean. The deep blue sea speaks to your soul, healing and soothing you. Even the act of imagining yourself dipping into its healing womb brings about desirable effects. Better yet, spend time physically near the ocean. Allow its powers and beauty to wash away all cares and concerns. Okay, let's get more information. You have rose quartz. That's beautiful. You have original self, ascended master White Matthew and Danburite, and it did come up in reverse, and they are noting that. So that is something that we have to read into. We'll take a look and see what that means. And then you have the vision, Archangel Michael and lapis lazuli. I actually have some lapis lazuli here in the reading right here. So it is a very psychic third eye chakra stone. And then you have searing presence, Goddess Maya, and ruby aura quartz. Okay. And I actually want to get another one of these. So for group number 2, here we go. In regard to your psychic abilities, Melt into divine desire, goddess Pele, and lava stone. So, okay, you've got several different chakras that are presented here by these cards. So let me just read into this and kind of see what I'm getting. All right, so group number 2, I actually also realized that I had forgotten to light the candle, so now we have that burning. And what I'm seeing in your reading so far is that you are melting into, you are like dissolving into the divine, and you're meant to do that. You're meant to return to your original self. The original self may have been blocked, and so that is what has obscured or limited your psychic abilities up until this point. But what they're showing me is that by melting into the divine, by dipping into its healing womb, I see this as very sacral chakra as well, divine desire and the healing womb. You have a very sacral chakra type of energy here. I also see the crown chakra, the third eye, the heart, and the heart also with the ocean too. So you have like a variation of different chakras that are present here, root as well. But I'm definitely feeling this energy of the sacral chakra. So your gift may be very much about clairsentience and the ability to feel psychically through the body. So this is kind of like tuning into sensations. So you might be extra sensitive to feelings of heat or cold or rushing or energy moving through the body, or maybe you can feel the energetic signature of people when you come into contact with them, or when you touch them, or when you talk to them. And you may even be able to feel other people's physical ailments within your own body. It does feel very much like you are so connected and melted into the divine and connected to the heart that you're very much renewing or have renewed your original self. Now, I do want to get some clarifiers here from the Psychic Tarot. So let's take a look. For group number 2, what do they need to know about their psychic abilities? Okay. All right. You have deception and envy. This came out, the Seven of Swords. This is the Seven of Swords. And the Seven of Swords did come out in group number 1 as well. So you have the Seven of Swords. And I think this was the mask that was obscuring your original self. And that's why this one came out in reverse and wanted to be noted as a reversal rather than me kind of like discounting that, you know? So I feel like this was the mask that hid you from yourself. And so your choice to connect to your psychic abilities is really a choice to connect back to your original self. And so you're removing any deception or illusion or distortion that resulted from you identifying more with the ego than with your soul, with your heart, with your pure divine presence. Conflict and defeat. So I feel like with conflict and defeat, there may have been some very challenging ego experiences that you had to go through to get to this point. This feels to me like sort of the similar message. I keep feeling group number 1 here. So if you felt called to group number 1, maybe check that out. Or if you are coming from group number 1, it's like I'm picking up still on that energy of this challenge creating or leading to a catalyst for you to reconnect to your original self and seek healing. Because that's what the ocean and rose quartz are really making me think of. It's like you being able to heal your heart and to return back to your original self. And there's like a butterfly that's very, very faint here on this card. Here, let me see if you can see that. If I can pick it up, hold on. Yeah, so it's like these lace, beautiful, soft wings, and there's also angel wings in the card as well. So I see this as you reconnecting to your angelic self through this transformation. And to do that, you've had to come out of the distortions that your ego created of who you are. Wow, you have the High Priestess with intuition. Yeah, the group number 1 had High Priestess as well. These two groups are very, very much connected. Sometimes the groups are all separate. Sometimes they're connected in certain ways. This one is definitely connected. So you have a very, very prominent door to spirit, group number 2. You are able to connect to the other side because you're reconnecting with your original self, which is infinitely connected to the other side. You have the waiting game. Okay. So there's timing at play here. So if you have not activated these psychic abilities just yet, there is divine timing at play. And the reason for that is possibly so that you can get rid of some of this conflict, defeat, any of that deception and envy energy from within yourself and or that's around you, so that you can catalyze this transformation. Wow, you have suffering in silence, the 9 of Swords. So yes, there's been some definite need for healing here. And that wound really catalyzed, again, I just keep getting that same message that came up in group 1. It's catalyzing your awakening. It's the dark night of the soul archetypal energy, where you went through so much suffering and pain and conflict and deceit and distortion of yourself and the experiences that led to in the physical world, because it was meant to activate you and return you home to yourself. Okay, so what else does group number 2 need to know about their psychic abilities? Maybe activating them further, working with them consciously. What are their psychic abilities? Okay. All right, so you have the Devil card. Yeah, there's been a lot of hardship for you here, group number 2. You've had to overcome a lot of distortion. Group number 1, the message was about karma. I'm not necessarily feeling that quite as much for you here, group number 2. It's more so your own false perceptions. I don't know if that would have, if left for too long and carried forward, it could turn into karma. But I'm feeling that this is, it's just real disconnection and disempowerment that you've kind of suffered through in this life within your own mind. It's like you believed yourself to be so limited, and then it led to these very disempowering experiences which confirmed that perception of limitation. But that's the deception. That's a distortion. And so to feel a sense of control over this feeling of disempowerment, you donned a mask. The human self is what they're showing me. And that human self, the ego, allowed you to move through some of these disempowering cycles. Yes, there was conflict. Yes, there was a feeling of challenge and maybe even of disappointment. But I do sense that mask that you donned of your ego, it's actually not a bad thing. Weirdly enough, the cards on the table look really negative, but I'm feeling it like it's a good thing. It's a good thing because, again, that suffering and that disconnection from yourself, that it wasn't really disconnection, it was more just distortion. That distortion of yourself and the wounds that resulted in allowed you to, I'm seeing like a tick, 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 ding. It's like the egg timer just goes off and you're ready. You're ready. And you were in the oven. And you come out and you're this beautiful cake because you had to go through this suffering on your own to be able to rise to the top, to be able to reconnect to yourself again, to grow your wings. It's like melting into the divine and dipping into that energy. It feels like really breaking yourself down to become something different. It's the archetype of the butterfly. So you went from caterpillar, but to become butterfly, To go from ego to your original self, it's like you had to take your entire form and dissolve it into the divine, which is the trust that was required for you to do that, or is required of you to do that. And then you reform into something free, no longer in a state of disempowerment. It's like you are the one running the show, not your ego. Your ego is then working for you. And you can still don the mask, is what they're saying here. You can still don the mask when you need to, or if you want to. There's nothing wrong with playing human, is what they're saying. There's nothing wrong with it. It's sacred in and of itself. So don't abhor that. Don't completely try to destroy it. It's part of the new self. Like the caterpillar is still part of the butterfly. It's the same being. It's just the butterfly can fly and the caterpillar couldn't. It's the only difference. So this is really cool, really cool. You have the Empress. So much abundance. You're able to create whatever you want. You're able to really grow. I see a lot of growth and expansion because you're connecting to these divine feminine energies, is what I'm getting from these two, specifically the Empress and the Intuition, the High Priestess. This is this sacred divine feminine energy. So this is your capacity to create, to receive. Yeah. I'm also seeing the Ankh on her necklace here. So, yeah. The Ankh is representative of vital force energy and the eternal aspect of the soul. Now, I don't actually know that. You're like, wait, what? Why did you say that? No, I just channeled that. I am from Egypt in a past life. So, yeah. Anyway, the Ankh here is representing that vital force energy returning in natural cycles through the self. And so it is the original, it's the connection to the original self that allows that spirit to continue to flow through you and cycle through you. So you become a vessel for your whole self to express itself in a much more finite version. It can feel like going in a circle, like they're showing me that the two of, I think it's the Two of Wands, or it could be the Two of Pentacles here. Anyway, the waiting game, it's like going around in a circle, feeling as though things are stuck, but they're not. It's actually just the natural cycles of time and the soul that are at play here. And so that's why melting into the divine and trusting that universal energy within you to carry you through these cycles exactly as they need to be, that's what connects you to the other realm. It's like you have a direct line of sight to the other dimensions, really. To other dimensions, yeah. Okay. You have the Queen of Wands as well. Yes, this is very sacral chakra energy. It's all about creativity for you. So you might be somebody who's very visual. You might be somebody who's very creatively inspired by life. It's like you have a lot of passion. You want to make things. You want to do things, be things. But I really see a lot of creativity here, especially since I wanted to put it right next to this card, which is third eye chakra. So that can be, and the light in here, I don't know if you guys can see that there's a light that changes color in the salt lamp that I have, and it just was on purple. So this is really the sacral and the third eye working together to create or express a vision. So you might be a very visual person. You might even be a painter, because they're showing me the wand in her hand and it's looking to me for whatever reason like a paintbrush. So that would be very sacral chakra energy, because you're taking a vision and making it manifest and very physical with like a sensory experience. You might even like paint with your hands, like remember finger painting as a kid? I loved that. I remember one time my mom let us finger paint with pudding. So we had different flavors of pudding and we were just like smearing it all over paper and then like eating it off our hands. I don't know why. I just felt called to mention that. Maybe it's about you connecting to your original self through the inner child. Yeah, okay, that makes sense, because that did come up. The inner child did come up in group number 1, and you two are very connected. Group 1 and group 2, if you're not the same person, you're very connected. And if you are the same person or people, yeah, that's why. You have the 4 of Cups, dissatisfaction and boredom. I feel like this was a result of being disconnected from yourself. Yeah, it just feels like it felt very lackluster is the word I'm hearing. Lackluster for you to wear this false mask and be in this state of disempowerment. And that's why probably it felt like a lot of defeat or disappointment. Like it was just disappointing because it was so lackluster to just be the limited version of you. But again, that was what was catalyzing this expansion. You have the 3 of Pentacles. I see you working with your guides because your intuition is either very developed or it's developing in that divine timing. I really do see that you are able to work with your guides, and I do see you consulting them. So if you are already connected to your intuition in this way, I do see you like having conversations with your guides, like maybe asking them, what do you think about this? Or what should I do here? And things like that. I do this all the time. I literally just did this right before this reading. I went outside to recharge my energy in the sun, and my guides were guiding me on what to do. They say, sit this way, sit with your back to the sun now, and then switch, and then we're going to get up here, and there's a block in this area that you need to work on. And they're just walking me through, the steps. They're very, very helpful. So definitely connecting with your guides, if you aren't already, is being highly encouraged here, because that's going to help you to unlock these gifts and this intuition if you haven't already, because the waiting game is it is in divine timing, but they can help you to, like, I just heard the word elucidate. What does elucidate mean? Hold on, let me look that up. I love words. Words are such a sensory thing for me, so I want to learn, and whenever they channel through a word, I want to learn what it is. Okay, so elucidate means make something clear or explain. And as we were just talking about the guides, it's like they can make things very clear for you. They can explain things to you and help to guide you along the way. I mean, that's why they're called guides. And you have Queen of Pentacles. I feel like the Queen of Pentacles here is really about you creating again. It's that same energy as the Empress that I'm getting from her. They're even showing me the bunny in the bottom of the card here. So this definitely feels like the ability to create, and it's especially making me think again of the sacral chakra, because bunnies are known and associated with abundance because they reproduce very quickly. And the Empress can also speak of birth as well. Birth, rebirth, creation, creativity, all of those things. So I see that a lot from you. One of your psychic abilities is definitely connected to your creativity, and your intuition can channel through your creative pursuits. It's like that can also help to make things clearer, is what your guides are telling me. It can help to make things clearer for you and reconnect you with your original self. So they are encouraging you, if you would like to continue expanding your psychic abilities, they say do creative stuff, paint, draw, sing, dance, anything creative that just kind of flows through you based on your inspiration. That's going to help to awaken your psychic gifts. So that's what they're encouraging you to do. Now, I do see these jagged points on the mountain in relation to the rose quartz, which is connected to the heart chakra. And again, we're going back to group number 1. I'm sorry to keep referencing them, but there's just way too many connections between those two readings. And they had the 3 of Swords. So this feels very much like that. And it's pain in the heart. It's sharp things in the heart. And that may have shut down some of your capacity to manifest, to create, to trust yourself, to tap into your intuition, to creatively express. There could even be fear about being in your power in terms of creating, although we do have 2 queens here, more divine feminine energy, and we have the Empress. So I feel like you're actually very competent. I was going to say confident, and then they told me the word competent is more accurate. And so you're very competent, but maybe you actually need to build some confidence around your competency because you might actually feel that you are less qualified than you actually are. Yeah, that's what they're showing me here. It's part of the distortion. That's part of the deception. That's the mask you're seeing. That's not the real you. The real you is very competent. The real you is highly creative. Your original self it's a divine creator. You are a divine manifester, and that's a soul type that we look at in the soul realignment readings. That may or may not be your actual soul type, but that's the archetype I'm getting here. That's the energy signature. Each soul has a different soul blueprint, and so we look at the primary energy and we look at to see if there's a secondary. We look at where you're currently at in this phase of your incarnation, and then we look at blocks and restrictions in the form of karmic patterns from past or present life. So those are the types of things that I often see is that, divine manifestors, they're very skilled at creating physically. So whether that's in finances or physically creating products or like hobbies, building things, could even quite literally. But when it comes to the feminine energy, this can present in so many different ways, but it's very, very creative and it needs to be expressed. It needs to be about what you can physically create. Like there was nothing there and then you made something. So whether it's like you're baking a cake or you are building a necklace or you're building a business or you're building a house, like there's so many different ways this can manifest, but that's part of your divine creation that this reading is bringing to mind here. It's hard for me to see. I just like things to be balanced, but I can't see the whole reading because my tripod's in the way. Anyway, that's a message for you guys as well. It's like you can't see the whole thing because your ego's in the way. So your guides are trying to help you to see around the corners or in the blind spots. Oh, okay. See, everything in a reading is for a reason because Spirit will use any means to be able to deliver the message that's needing to be delivered. So yeah, I really see that you're getting a lot of spiritual support from your guides, from your team, from your higher self. I see that your intuition is, I just heard on fire. Your intuition is on fire. And then I love that we have I forgot that the Queen of Wands is right above that. And she's the fire queen. So yeah, it's very passionate, very vigorous. I just heard as well, vigorous and growth oriented, creation oriented. But yeah, you're very, very connected because they're showing me the black cat in this card. And that's speaking to me of sensitivity and connection to the divine. Because felines are very, very connected to spirit. That's what I'm seeing there. That sensitivity is what allows you to connect. Yeah, there's still a bit of heart healing to do for you guys, group 2. That may be something that's blocking, that's still distorting. It's the pain in the heart. So work with rose quartz. It's here in your reading for a reason. It's recommending itself to you. It wants you to work with it. So go pick yourself up some rose quartz. Just doesn't have to be a big chunk. Just a little tumbled stone is fine. Or if you have some already, go get it out and have a sit with that and see what comes through. Because your heart is needing to heal here. And I see that because the angel is holding her hand over her heart. And then we have suffering and silence in the rose quartz. So that's going to help you free yourself from any residual karmic patterns, blocks, restrictions, disempowerment, deception, distortion, feelings of disappointment, disconnection, all of that. And get you back into this very grounded, anchored, stabilized, competent, they just keep repeating that word, competent energy. You're very competent, group number 2. You can do this. You know how to do this at soul level. You just have to remember who you are. Because now they're showing me in my mind's eye, Mufasa in The Lion King. Remember who you are, Simba. It's like he becomes a bit of a vagabond, Simba, and shirks his responsibility, but he needs to remember that he's meant to be king. And group number 2, you're meant to be queen or king if you identify as masculine. So it's just about you stepping into your power, really. That's what it boils down to, because they were showing me earlier the crown on the Empress's head. Oh, and now they're showing me the crown on the Queen of Pentacles' head as well. And it's putting spirit at the top. because in group number 1, seriously, just go watch group number 1 after this, okay? Or even right now and then come back to this one, because it's so relevant. It's like they need to almost be watched fluidly together from start to finish. But the pentagram on the devil's forehead represents a reversal of spirit. So that's why this is disempowering, because it's the ego. It's not about the devil being something outside of you. It's the ego. It's the distorted ego, I should say, because the ego is not bad. It's when it becomes distorted that it becomes, a negative thing. So essentially the 5 points on the pentagram represent earth, air, fire, water, and spirit being the uppermost point. And the reason that, the devil and things like that are associated with it being reversed is because it's the spirit being subservient to or a slave to the elements, the physical world, which is not the truth. That's why this is a distortion. That's why this is deceptive energy, because it's not the truth. Your intuition and your original self know this. Spirit is the creation or creator of the physical world. It is not subject to it in the way that we're taught to believe. So this is you freeing yourself from this mindset, because they're showing me it right over his forehead. That's the distortion in the third eye chakra. And clearing that is going to be about, first of all, realizing this information and understanding it through this new expanded awareness, but it's also about reconnecting to your creativity, because that's going to show you more of the truth of who you are versus what you may have been taught or what you may have experienced in the past. Really cool. So that is what I see for you, group number 2. You are stepping back into your power in divine timing through the guidance of your support team and your creative expression to heal the heart chakra and ascend. Basically, you're ascending and transforming yourself by melting into your original version and alchemizing yourself into your power. Really amazing, beautiful reading. I just got massive chills. I just got massive shivers, and that's always a confirmation of divine truth. So thank you so much for being here with me today, group number 2. It was a pleasure to connect with your energy and to read for you. If you did enjoy this video, let me know by liking it. It brings me so much joy and fulfillment. I truly, truly appreciate your presence and your likes. And if you subscribe to the channel, I'm looking forward to continuing to connect with your energy through many different fun readings that I have been divinely inspired to create. And if you would like to work with me one-on-one to do any heart chakra healing, to work on manifestation, to work on connecting with your guides or your psychic abilities, I am a professional psychic medium, spiritual mentor, energy healer, and Akashic reader. And you can find the link to book online with me through my website, which is in the description box below this video. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the next reading. Bye! All right, hi group number 3. If you chose this crystal ball, welcome to your reading. What makes you psychic and how to connect with your psychic abilities. So I have your oracle cards here. Let's take a look. You have go for it. Your prayers and positive expectations have been heard and answered. We've been working with you on this situation since its genesis, and we continue to watch over you and everyone involved. Stay on your present path, as it will take you very far indeed. This is a great way to start the reading, group number 3. I feel like you are well on your way to activating your psychic potential and really expanding. Look at all the purple in this card. She's wearing a purple dress. There's a purple rains on the unicorn. We've got amethyst here and all the purple stones I chose because that's the third eye, which is connected to clairvoyance. We can be psychic in the other areas as well, but clairvoyance is the one that's most commonly associated with the word psychic. No way, you have labradorite. This is more blue, but I'm still getting like a purple energy from it. So labradorite, this is also very psychic energy. Okay. You have Sacred Ecosystem, Ascended Master Kuthumi, and Moss Agate. Sensitivity, Ascended Master Lady Nada and Rhodochrosite. I'm just noticing that both of these are heart chakra and they both have the number 333. Okay, so 333 might be an activation code that you're receiving. So essentially, when we see repeating number sequences like that, and it can be anything, it doesn't have to be the traditional 1 1 1 2 2 2 3 3 3. It can be any combination of numbers that you see repeating. These are activation codes. They are soul activations, just like when we see coding online. It's like that coding is a binary set of information. And that is the same thing when we're looking at sacred geometry, angel numbers, and the DNA. So what happens is we get shown these repeating sequences of numbers by our higher self to be able to connect to these latent or dormant aspects of our DNA. Wow, Empowered Service Master, Ascended Master Yogananda and Rhodonite, another heart chakra crystal here. And you have Empowered Service with another 333. So you have all 333s, and there are different numbers on these cards, so that you did happen to get all 333s. Okay, I want to grab one more card from this deck just to balance things out. Okay, so for group number 3, about their psychic abilities, you have Her Eye Ever Open. I knew the third eye was going to be prominent here. You have Goddess Tara and Tibetan Quartz. Okay, so group number 3, group number 3, what I'm seeing already, and we haven't even gotten any clarifier cards, is that you are seriously being called and activated right now by Spirit to open your third eye. Now, a big part of that is going to be doing some heart chakra healing, because to open the third eye, it is advised. It's not always completely necessary, but it is advised to go through the heart chakra. You don't want to bypass or skip the heart chakra when activating your third eye. The reason being is because the third eye will show you truth, but it will not show you the highest truth. It will show you the different dualities of truth. But when you activate the heart chakra, you are initiating yourself into the 5th dimensional frequency of unity consciousness. And so with that in mind, when we get up to the third eye chakra, then you can actually start to see things as the higher truth. Even though you're still able to see the duality of it, you see the third point on that triangle, which is the unified whole. So instead of becoming separated from yourself or from the world by being able to see all of these different truths of duality, you actually become more connected through the awareness of that higher truth that the heart chakra provides. So that's why it's important that we go up the chakra ladder, so to speak, from the root to the sacral, to the solar plexus, to the heart, and then up to the throat, third eye, and crown. That way, we don't have to do it in that order, but it is helpful because they're different aspects of our expression and our soul that do work well in that order. Okay, let's get some clarifiers. So for group number 3, what can they do to activate this third eye? The coding, because I'm seeing that you have the coding already, and it's just that you need to do something about it. We're going to find out what that is. Oh, shoot, I keep hitting the camera. Sorry. Okay. Spiritual strength. This is the Hermit. So spending time alone is going to be important for you to connect to your spirituality. Your third eye will open when you dedicate time to connecting to your heart, because I happened to tap the cards on the on the salt lamp that I have here, and it was on the color green. I don't know if you guys can see it when it changes colors, but yeah, it was on the color green, and there's a lot of green in this card as well. So this is talking to me about the heart chakra, because that's the frequency that it resonates at. So you are needing to spend time alone so you can reconnect to yourself through the heart. And the only way to really do that if it's distorted or you're disconnected from it, is to take time out and to be alone, to connect with it. I am seeing with the sacred ecosystem and sensitivity, especially when we're talking about the heart chakra, it is helpful, again, if you're especially sensitive, if you're an empath, which is kind of what I'm picking up here, guys, if you're an empath, the best way to get very clear on yourself is to spend time alone. The reason being is because you're picking up on everything all the time from other people. So it's very hard to get a clear read on who you are if you don't already know yourself when you're an empath or you're highly psychic. So that's why spending time alone is such a spiritual thing. Not too much, right? We don't want to go overboard, but enough so that you're able to get very clear on who you are at soul level. It's like understanding your own energy. And heart chakra healing, that has come up for every single group in this psychic energy reading. Okay, so emotional loss, I feel like that heart chakra, that pain there, is needing to be addressed, needing to be understood so that you can heal it, because you are a very sensitive being. And that's another thing. When it comes to being highly psychic and being very empathic, you are connected to everything. So you do feel things more profoundly than others who may not have that capacity, or who may not have activated that spiritual strength within themselves, or that spiritual gift, I should say. We all have that gift. It's just to what degree is it open? And when you're sensitive, you are just more open. That's all. And so more can get in, and some of that is not always pleasant. So that's why it's really important to do some heart chakra healing, because that's going to help you to find yourself again, to settle into your own energy, and then to feel really ready to ride that innocence, because the unicorn reminds me of that purity, that innocence of the heart chakra. When it's balanced, you're able to ride that innocence up to the third eye with all that purple there. You're able to activate that. Ooh, we have the Emperor in reverse with power. Okay, so there may have been some situations that disempowered you. And that may be what has empowered you from stepping into your empowered service, because they just reminded me that this card is on the table. So opening your third eye is about stepping into, or I'm hearing reclaiming your power so that you can be in service to others, because the disempowered expression of an empath is a victim, lacking boundaries, and then therefore not being able to be in an empowered service because your sacred ecosystem is polluted with all of those things that are not your own because you're so sensitive. Or it could just be from things that you've experienced that were just painful in and of themselves. Whatever the case is, it's about you re-empowering yourself. That's what I'm seeing here. And there's hope. Oh, thank you, Spirit. That's just a beautiful message. I just feel my heart filling up and expanding when I'm seeing this. For you, group number 3, there's hope. And again, we have the green chakra. My card hit it again right when it was on green. I'm not trying to time that. I am not that good. Everything is just divinely aligned. So you are very much, and they're drawing my attention to the fact that 1 and 7 make 8. And power is 8 as well. So the number 8 is representative of power. So you're reactivating your light body, stepping back into your power, opening your third eye by healing your heart, and being able to step into empowered service. The Labradorite here can be about, it's very interesting because it's showing up as blue in the card here. But when you actually look at Labradorite, you know what? Hold on, let me grab mine and I'll show you. So Labradorite actually looks more green. But when you see it in the light, it's got this beautiful blue iridescent sheen underneath. So let me get up close and see if you can see that. It's kind of hard to see because of the lighting in here, but it's much more beautiful in person. And so essentially what this means to me is, and especially since my Labradorite, that the only piece that I own is in the shape of a heart. So this is very much talking to the heart chakra. And the green is, again, the heart chakra. And they're also drawing my attention to my green aventurine that I have here, also shape of a heart. So you guys are very much called to focus on some heart chakra healing, to do some repair of the heart. That's what's going to get you into empowered service, because the Labradorite here was making me think of teaching, really. Speaking, too. I just heard motivational speaking, because it's all about power. If that's something that resonates with you, I don't think that will resonate for everyone, but if that's something that resonates with you, like maybe preaching or motivational speaking or life coaching or some kind of empowering communication, that's what I'm picking up on here. especially as it relates to stepping into spiritual strength after going through loss. It could be teaching people about how to heal their heart after you've done that for yourself. That everything's connected when it comes to our soul, so we don't go through things arbitrarily. There are certain things that can be somewhat randomized or at the will of our own choices, but in the grander scheme of things, there's always a bigger purpose. There's always a reason, and we can always alchemize every experience into something for our service or for our evolution, or both. Ideally, it's always both, right? So go for it. Group number 3, if you're called to a certain line of empowered service, whatever that happens to look like, doesn't have to be about speaking or communicating or anything like that, just go for it, because it's going to help you to activate this third eye. So let's get some tarot cards. What does group number 3 need to do right now to activate their third eye? Okay, that's it. Just those 3. What do you need to do? King of Cups. Again, it's speaking to me of emotional healing. So healing the heart. That's what you need to do to activate this gift. That's what's going to do it. That's the spiritual strength. It's the strength to feel your feelings and to be in control of them. And that does not mean repressing them. Being in control of your emotions does not mean not feeling them. That's the opposite of control. If you have to repress, you are out of control of your emotions. So it's learning to regulate yourself. It's learning to have compassion and clarity as those emotions or feelings come to the surface to be felt. Because we do need to feel it to heal it. But we don't have to necessarily suffer through the feeling of that. We can embrace our sensitivity and purge anything that is obstructing our sacred ecosystem by releasing, by honoring, by loving. Again, this is why the heart chakra is so important here, because it's you learning to open and expand your heart that is going to unlock this ability to hold space for yourself in this way and to feel and see this deeper truth. That's the spiritual strength that activates your higher perception and gets you out of lack. Yeah, it gets you out of having not enough. I just heard not enoughness. Not enoughness. Feeling disempowered because they wanted me to put it over here, not just to balance things out because that's where it was meant to go. Because you were feeling disempowered as though there was no hope. You weren't seeing something clearly, stuck in loss, feeling weak, but you're actually alchemizing that, or meant to be transmuting that into your own power through healing, through the heart. And then finally, we have the King of Pentacles. You have 2 kings here, and group number 1 had 2 queens. And group number 1 was referenced in group number 2. And now it's coming up in yours as well. It feels like it's sort of the cornerstone of all of these readings. Okay, so having 2 kings here, for you, healing is really about stepping back into your masculine energy. It doesn't matter if you're male or female. Masculine energy is about protection, boundaries. It's nurturing, but in a very sort of more detached way is kind of what I'm feeling. I'm just kind of picking up on the energy, and that's what I'm feeling. It's like detached compassion and protective support. That's what allows you to step into this divine power that you're meant to be in and renew the hope, renew the light body, activate and clear the heart, activate and open the third eye, step into spiritual strength, and then boom, I feel like you're going to be manifesting a lot easier because of that as well, because psychic abilities doesn't always just translate to being able to see into the other realms. It can actually be useful in terms of being connected to your divine self, because then you can actually create a better life. You can manifest more easily because your vibration is higher, because you're seeing things more clearly. Then you're able to use your free will more effectively. So this is what I see for you, group number 3. You're meant to be healing your heart, spending some time on your own to do this work, this very, very sensitive work. Let me know if you need help with that. This is what I do for a living. I'm a professional psychic medium, spiritual counselor, Akashic reader, mentor, all of that. So if you need help with that, let me know. We can do activations of the light body. We can do integrations through the chakra system, all of that. But I do see that you are going to be stepping into some serious strength here. Strength, group number 3. I love that for you. Group number 3, I was just packing up your reading and I realized that I forgot a card when I went to go and get the Labradorite heart. So your last card was actually spiritual union, which is also about healing the heart, reciprocity, relationships, and emotional healing. So I just figured I would put this in at a point that you'll see it, but it won't disturb the rest of the messages that came through. All right, guys, thank you, and we'll see you in the next reading. Bye. So yes, thank you so much. Thank you for watching. Thank you for liking the video if you enjoyed the reading, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. There's lots more fun stuff to come, and we will see you in the next reading. Bye, guys. Oh, I almost forgot. Sorry. If you are wanting to work with me one-on-one, you can find the link to my website in the description box below. All right. Bye, guys.